If you guys remember the markup that I had on Monday, I broke this monthly chart down, and I'm going to show this to you. And why this is important is because this is an excitable move right here, okay? This is an excitable move. That's a pullback. Okay, so there's the move, there's the pullback. So you use the fib on excitable moves because it basically tells you the zones in which it's most likely going to move to. So, and where it's going to reverse from. So this zone has been a heavy reversal zone. It's not perfect to a T, but it's been a heavy reversal zone. But this is where the money is at right here. Okay, this is where the money is at on gold. And this is going to be a really like explosive move to me in gold. And I think this is going to have a lot of volatility to go way higher. Now, if this holds true, we're going to see gold go probably to $2,300, which from here is like 400 pips to the upside, 4,000 pips, sorry, 4,000 pips to the upside. So it's a lot of money. Now, I don't know how soon that'll be, but judging by the way this looks, I mean, if you look at this, this is a very strong uptrend. I mean, the uptrend goes all the way. Like if I just were to draw this out right here, here's your, that's your move in gold. So if you see that, that's like your move right there in gold. But then it's got an even sharper trend right here, okay? But then we have an excited move. So like, if we were measuring this move right here, like this is an excited move. That's a pullback right here. This is a pullback. Two things I want to add. Two things I want to add. Number one is you see this excitable move, you see this pullback, and then you see it look like it wants to go up and it comes down. Same thing could happen here, but we're still some time away from that happening. It's pretty easy to see, like if that were to happen, it would cross like that. See how it goes up, and it does it right there, but then it stops right there and goes down. Well, we're not in that territory. Notice how, see the difference in this to this? See how this was uptrending, broke it right here, retest, drop. We'll see how we're still uptrending and we haven't went beneath that line yet. If this thing comes under here, then we'd be talking about this over here. But for now, we got to stay on the buyer's bias because the market is telling us buy. So even if you hear people saying, you know, sell, whatever, especially like news, anything news related, unless the market tells you otherwise, there's no reason to listen to anything else. I mean, usually it's just, again, media news, all that is to instill fear and panic and all the other different things that come about it. So when you look at this, this is very bullish. And again, gold is my favorite pair to trade in the entire market. It has broken all of the weekly selling lines and daily selling lines from last year. So it's broken all of them. It's went underneath it. Sorry, it's went above it. It's just recently went above it. So right here, this little cross point right here is what I'm talking about. Now, when I shift this over to the daily, you see, and if you go back and you look at what I talked about on Monday, I was saying this area right here would be the zone that if it did decide to go down, it would probably be here. I was kind of surprised that it had such a big drop from 1880, and we could just say 1870, 1880, all the way down to 1844. That surprised me that it dropped like 300 pips to the downside. But then when I go back and I think of, well, in order for the market to have, you know, huge moves in one direction, it has to go the opposite way to pull in more volume of traders. And so for this daily candle to do what it did right here and to really explode through this high, that's very normal to happen in the market. So it's already broken out of the, you know, most recent zone that I would assume that it would come down to. So now any kind of pullback to this line right here, this is going to pretty much be your safe haven for trading gold, because again, I do believe this is going to go a lot higher. I'm going to be looking really hard on gold to find some really good long positions to try to get in on this. So, say tomorrow gold comes all the way down to 1870. That would be amazing, because I would be trying to get in long positions down here, because it would basically, this was like the selling line right here, the daily and 4-hour selling line. And as you see, what has the market done? It's broken that. And it's broken and went above it. That pullback right there, had it pulled back to down here to these zones right here, because I was actually looking at it and it was stopping right there. This, to me, and this is just me personally, I was not taking any trades off of here. It wasn't enough confirmations for me. It was just really honestly only one solid one, which was the break and retest of this zone right here. But had it came down and popped this line right here and hit the zone here, that was triple confirmation for me, because of the trend and because of also the 3-touch right here. This is what I would have been looking for personally on gold, but it went up, and that's okay. I do everything off of my eyes. I don't have any other confirmation tools or tools that I use. Like that's, my eyes are what I use at the end of the day to see everything. So when you see that, that's gold, and paying really close attention to this line right here is going to be the line that you guys are going to want to pay attention to. Even if it's not perfect, this is really going to be the line that you're going to want to watch, because again, what I was saying earlier this week was I've seen gold go into the 1900s possibly this week, and it actually did, which is cool. But I don't really put too much into that. I just thought it was cool that it decided to do it. But the zone I'm really looking for, I'm really thinking this is going to reach the 2000s sometime soon. Soon being not like in a week soon. If it does it in a week, that's going to be crazy, because that's a lot of volume to move, and so whatever happened, that's huge. But I think it's going to take more like a couple of months to reach that zone, unless something wild happens. I mean, you never know what can happen. But this thing is very bullish. Gold is very bullish trade, and it's broken a lot of levels for me on selling zones. And also it's still staying above the major buying zones. I mean, if you draw like a line chart line through, that's pretty much going to be your line chart, about right there. And even though it's had the wicks to the downside, it's pretty much always stayed above that line right there. And for me, the last straw to have seen that thing would have been right here. And when it spiked down and it popped up to there, that would have been the move to take it down. But whatever happened, it shot it up, and it looks like it's going to continue to rise to the upside. So gold, really bullish. Just really need to pay attention to the price action on gold, and find the levels of pullback on it. Euro USD was one that we talked about earlier this week, on Monday, and this was the line I was talking about. EU crossing was this line here, and it crossed. It never gave the spike to the downside, but it did end up having to move to the upside. I was looking to get in literally. My buy limits were 1.1300. This was the zone I was looking to get into, and it went to like right there, like 8 or 9 pips away. And it was right here at the tip of this line, and then it ended up rising about 100 pips from that zone. Just never came down and hit that line. That was my number one trade for the week. So pretty much for me, I'd see what it would do. But now it'll be a little bit different if it comes down to here, because the move that we're looking for, this is kind of a downtrending move here. This is a excitable move, a pullback. That would result in if it came back down and retested this has more selling power to continue to go down. And what we're looking for is that just small little break and retest there to get the adequate amount of volume to hit right there, then to go up and to take that move. That's the move we're looking for. If it comes back down to here, this isn't a trade you would want to look at and say, oh yeah, this is one I want to get in. So that move is done. Like the move that I was talking about, that move is over. It's just I wanted to make sure I brought that up so you guys knew that move was done in that specific setup. Now something else could come up that would bring and be like, oh, okay, well this could be a buy. But for that specific move there, that was the move in which we were looking for the buy. Odd USD was another one, if you guys remember. But again, I was talking about that wasn't as an easy of a setup on the eyes as gold was, or as Euro USD was. There was the touch right there, and then this would have been the break straight through there. But it also resulted in a selling line, and it also resulted in a buying line. I just didn't draw the buying line there. And as you see, it's more or less went up. I mean, you can pretty much see that it more or less went up. But it just wasn't as easy on the eyes as Euro USD was. So that was really the only difference. But if you would have sold here, you wouldn't have been able to get the buy-in right there because it wouldn't have came down. You wouldn't have been able to get a 3-to-1 buy on this. It would have just went in and resulted in a loss of a sell. But it wouldn't have been wrong. It's just you wouldn't have been able to get this buy-in down here. And again, you got to be honest with yourself in the market. Would you have made money on the trade if you got in? Whether you get in or you don't, no, you wouldn't have made money on the trade. But another one that I want to look at that I think might be in the money, honestly, is NZD USD. So this is the NZD USD right here. This is the zone. This is still a downtrend. Looking at this on NZD USD is definitely still a downtrend in this level. I'm going to be watching this, going to be seeing and observing this zone right here, but this is one that I actually like now and until next week, just because this is the daily zone right here. If you look at that, here's the daily zone. You can see high, low, lower high, lower low. This is the lower high zone right here. Right here is a lower high zone. This is break and retest right here. So it broke the zone and it came back and retested the zone. That's what we want in those kind of trades. Those are exactly the things that we want to look for in the market. Pull it over to the 4-hour and you can see really close to a head and shoulders. It's pretty much rejecting even off of the line chart. This is very close, similar to the same zone. This would be the shoulder, that would be the head. It's a little bit higher, but this is pretty close to an M top as well. You have a solid buying zone right there, and you have a solid selling zone right here. It's still inside of the daily selling zone. So that's important because it being still inside the daily selling zone, my last straw is to go look at the hourly and to say, okay, well, where is the money at? Where's the money on the hourly? And you can see that's the uptrend right there. There's the break of the zone right there. So this is something that I've personally already sold, is NZD USD. It's crossed underneath the line for me. I like this, again, just following the strategy. This is like pretty much the zone in which I've actually gotten in at. Stop loss, just use a stop loss right above this high right here, which is about 20 pips to the upside, 25 pips to the upside. Not really too concerned with this zone over here, because again, this line right here is the zone of the daily. This is the last point of that daily zone. So I don't really need to put a stop loss all the way up here at like say 6, 7, 400 and do a 40 pip stop loss, because chances are if this thing doesn't go down, it's going to be very similar to that odd USD trade I talked to you guys about like 2 weeks ago, when it was basically almost doing very similar to this, except for it hadn't broken the hourly downtrend. It was underneath the daily line, and it was sitting underneath the daily line. It was getting really close to the hourly line, and whenever it set underneath the daily, it was like right here. It was like literally about right here, crossing around this point, and it just shot straight up off that line, and I had a stop loss like sitting right above here, and I think it ended up going like what 150 pips to the upside or something like that. So this one's actually coming underneath the zone right here. It has a couple other factors like this double top right here, this M top, break and retest of this structure over here, and again, daily diagonal resistance right here. If you wanted to pull a fib out just to maybe get some more confirmation and to see the zones that it's on, this is your fib zone right here. So you want to just look at the resistance points of the fib zone. You can see it's trading really good on this fib zone. You can see the 50 is pretty much the money zone for NZD USD. Reason being, if you look at this, here's the 50 zone. So there's something about this zone that it tends to like. And most likely, if it does reject this, we're probably going to see it come back down to here, which is 66,000. So that's like a 100 pip drop to the downside. And again, I'm selling it literally right where price is at right now. Stop loss right above here. I mean, that's the trade. So I think my stop loss is 250, if I'm not mistaken. So 67, 250. I think that's where it is. It could be 300. I'm not sure. I have to look at my stop loss, but it's not a big stop loss. It's definitely not a big stop loss at all. But this is just one that I like on NZD USD that is actually happening right now. That is pretty much it, though. Don't have any other don't have any other pairs though that I was looking at besides that. How's USD Chef looking and GU? NZ so GU, let's see. Damn. GU looks good too. Because I know that's that magical selling line on GU, Tyler. I like that. That's a good one. That's definitely good right there. Well, Troy.
It broke the hour uptrend too.
Yeah, I did. Whatever this candle was right here. It's pretty close. Yeah, it is. Be about right there. Little pullback. It's just now really smacking it. Yeah. Even if it whips around like this, that'd be fire. Yeah, that'd be real fire. GU is actually more of a triple top than anything. This is a nice little triple top zone. This has got a lot of power to push down. First, there's some money right here. But, what is that? 60 pips down? That's 60 pips down. Yeah. How many pips the stop loss up is that? 25. About 25. Yeah. Yeah, that thing could... It has pretty nice rejections. We'll know... Put it this way. Y'all will know if this is going to be a reversal zone on, say, GU or NZD/USD probably by today, in the next 24 hours. Because they seem to, when it gets around this high right here, doesn't seem to take longer than a day for it to drop down. So this would be like an 80 pip drop right there. You look at NZD USD and you can kind of look at the chart psychology on it. You could see that, yeah, from 1400. Yeah, this is a full day right here. And you pretty much see the drop happen within that amount of time. I mean, looking at that. But that's honestly what I had for you guys. I'll check USD. I don't ever really trade USD Chef. It's kind of weird to me. But that's the buying zone on NZD Chef. That's the selling zone through here. Yeah, right there. Boom, boom, boom. Crossed it right there. It looks like a buy to me, honestly. I mean, just looking at the immediate, that's the weekly. Pretty quick markup on the weekly. Yeah, to me that looks like a buy. Especially that yeah, this is more of a buy to me from how it looks on price action charts. It's more like a buy than anything. Just kind of a weird back and forth pair. So you wouldn't put your stop loss above the highs. Yeah, on NZD USD now. I'm not putting it up there because number one, if this is a sell, it shouldn't come and break this high. That's how trading works. Like and for any of y'all, you just go back to the basics: higher highs, higher lows, lower highs. So a higher high means uptrend. So if in a higher high, so then like this was your high, so here's your low, here's your high. Well, there's your new low, which didn't break that low, so that's a higher low. There's your new high, which broke the previous high, which is a higher high. There's your new low, which was above the previous low, which is a higher low. So if you just simplify this down and just think really basic terminology in trading, I sold it right here at the break of the uptrend. So this is the break of the uptrend money, meaning that it shouldn't go to this high. It should not go to this high because it should make a lower high. It should not go higher than this. So I don't need to look all the way over here and be like, well, I'm going to put my stop loss all the way over here, though. No, because if it's not an uptrend anymore, it shouldn't go above this high. So in the easy way to do it, stop loss. My stop loss is at 250. I mean, that's how confident I am in that. Like, and that's how well I know my markup. I know the market, and I understand, the reversal pattern. So it shouldn't break, and if it does, then it will break this and it will go to a higher high, and then it will pull back on this line most likely, or here, and it will make a higher low because this would be the low. So what it would look like is this right here. It would go, so if you look, this is how it started here. This is the whole move of it right here. Okay, there's your high. Now this would be, it's still a higher low because there's your low right there. So then it would go here and it would just go make a higher high. And even if it came to here, it's still higher than that. It's just kind of trading not perfectly on that line, which is okay. Just doesn't have to trade perfectly on that line. And then it'll go make a higher high. And that's the simplicity of looking at that market like that. That's really the real simplicity of looking at that. So when I look at NZD/USD. No, I'm not gonna. I don't. If it's gonna break it, it is. If it's not, it's not. This is again the basis of what I'm looking at is right here. That's the basis of what I'm looking at. So if it chooses to go up, then it's gonna go up. So I don't need to do like some kind of you know huge stop loss and sit in the market even longer. That's not really what I'm trying to do. And the good thing is though, if it does break this, well, what am I going to be looking at doing? Like what's the plan beyond that? Well, if it breaks it, well, it's just going to break it, and then you come down and you look at buying like that. It would be very similar to that. And I mean, if you look at it, well, where's the zone in which we're going to be buying it at? Probably about right there. I mean, if you use this line right here, it's going to be something like that, and then that will be your buying line. Again, I'm not concerned if it goes up. You just trade the proper risk percentages. You lose the small risk on it, and then you go find the next spot that's going to give you a high reward. So that's the zone in which I'm looking for. So if you look at this, it's doing this push up right here. Well, this is what we want it to do. Like it coming up there is what we want it to do. So that's the zone. Now if it shoots all the way up there, that's fine. I mean, trade the right risk. So those of you guys who are looking at this is where you want it to come up to. You want it to get into this zone. And I mean, this is about the pretty much about the best that you could draw. This is a 15-minute chart. If you see it, that's the 15-minute. But this is like what you want it to do. So when price is shooting up there like that, it's not. I'd hope you wouldn't get nervous. It's shooting up there. That this would be what you would want it to be. This would be like a patient person, like a patient entry. Is if price shoots up to here, is what you would want it to do, because you want that. You want price to pull back into your zone so that you can get a cheaper sell, basically, or a cheaper entry price for it. So, that's looking at that time frame there. But anybody have any pairs or anything to look at on that? GBP NZD. That was a good trade this week, actually. I looked at this. I didn't put it on the webinar. I seen it later. That just happened though. But GN was like sitting around this level right here, and that is GN off the daily. Just so you know, buys, like all that is a buy right there. And you look, it crossed it right there, as you see here. And then this was the immediate buying zone right here off the hourly, and it crossed it. It was holding right around here, and to me, it just didn't look like it was going to come back up. So, actually sold it like right here, and did a stop loss about right 350, I think, somewhere like right in there. And there's the move right there. But it's interesting because GN and NZD/USD both look like a sell to me, but they're not going to both go into a sell direction. They move very inverted to each other, is what I've learned. So to me, this is like a long-term sell. GN is like a long-term sell. Like looking at this, especially with the break of that daily line, NZD/USD looks more shorter term. But I think again, we'll know by tomorrow. I think we'll know by market close tomorrow what is going to pretty much happen. Looking at an NZD/USD, because it does also look like it can drop as well because of this daily line. It's still in the daily trend. But I can also make an argument as to why it would go up. But again, I think we will see within the next 24 hours what happens by the end of the market close. And if not, then I guess we won't. Does anybody have any questions about what we talked about?
I did have one, but I think you pretty much just answered it. But I will ask it anyway. So like, where would you put your sell or buy limit order when it crosses the line?
Um, I mean, for Euro, I'm gonna say this because of what happened to me the other day. Even though I did this markup for you guys, um, this was Euro USD here, and I have it usually on the closest reversal point, not the furthest. So for me, this zone about right here was the closest reversal point. This was the furthest, so I'm not going to go and put like a buy limit on EU at 1.12800 because that's the furthest reversal point. What I did was I put one position here, then I put another position here. So I stacked two positions right here, and I was okay if either one of them hit. And I mean, if it didn't hit and it went in the direction, it's cool because my trajectory to the pair was still correct, and I still get satisfaction out of seeing that. I just don't make any money from it. So I always put it at the closest reversal point, and it ended up going up at least 3 to 1, which is cool. That was the one for me on NZD USD. Um, NZD USD was pretty simple to see what was going on NZD USD. This was also the closest reversal point is right here at 67,000 basically. This is it, and that's literally what it just came up and hit. So if you look at this, you know, if anyone were to have gotten in that trade, that's the zone in which you were looking to get in at is up there. And this is just, you look at this is break and retest. So there's a lot of volume right here. There's the break, there's the pullback of the retest, and then there's the move right there. But if you go and look at it off the 4 hour, it's the same. Well, actually, you could do it daily, it'd be easier to see. If you look at it off the daily, it's the same setup I just showed you. It's no different. There's the buildup of price. There's the pullback. There's the retest right there. There's the drop to the downside. That's why I tell you guys, price knows no time. All it knows is money. So it just knows patterns. That's it. And those patterns repeat off of the 1 minute chart just like it would off of the daily. So I just showed you the same exact thing right there off the daily that is happening right now off of the 5 minute chart. Like it literally did the same thing. That was what that was. It basically did it on a smaller scale, kind of like right there. And there's the move here. There's the pullback. There it is right there. But then look what you have to deal with. You have volume right here. So when price comes up to here, it's actually breaking out of this little volume zone right here. That's what it's breaking out of, this small little pocket of volume. So whenever it breaks out, it pulls back just like it did right there. And now it is supposed to go up. And that's why if you don't understand what I'm teaching you and showing you as far as reversal patterns go, you'll get confused and start thinking you need to do like 50,000 different time frames, 50,000 different strategies, when really you just have to see what I'm showing you, pay attention to what I'm showing you, and piece together what works best for you and figure out, okay, if I see this setup at this time, I need to make sure that this is what I'm waiting on. And this is what I let first happen um, before I actually pull the trigger on the trade. Those things are all important. Can you name the confirmation used before executing a trade? Kind of want a checklist every time. I don't really have a specific set of 3 every single time. And I think you asked me this question before, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody asked me this question for sure. But I don't look for the same 3 every time. The last one that gives me the best idea of the trajectory of the pair is the crossover of the hourly trend. So when it crosses over with that hourly trend, I always look for monthly, weekly, daily first, just to have an idea of like where the bigger money is. Once I find out where the bigger money is, I then go to the smaller time frames, and I'm like, okay, what's the money doing right now? What's happening with the money right now in the market? And then whenever I can see that what's happening in the market right then that's whenever I start executing positions. So I mean, a fib is a confirmation, support and resistance is a confirmation, patterns is also a confirmation. But those are three really common price action reversal strategies that you'll find. But then there's a whole list of support and resistance reversal patterns you can use. You have your trending support and resistance. You have a break and retest support and resistance. You have just a basic support. You have like a basic resistance, and then you have like complex support and resistances that begin to show up, which to me are more like what I just said, like break and retest, and then like trending support and resistance. So there's more, and then you have patterns, but then there's a multitude of patterns that you can talk about. There's so many patterns. So I mean, some patterns can be inside of each other and give more confirmation for a sell or more confirmation for a buy. So there's a lot of different patterns that come into play. Fibs are like pretty much just one fib. I mean, you use a fib and for an excitable move, and you can pretty much see where the buyers and sellers are. I mean, this, like when I look at this right here, to me, uh, this has a lot of potential to go to the upside because of this right here, this stopping point, because it pulled back, it hit the zone right here. And since it hit the zone, it's supposed to continue to drop, but it didn't. It came back up again. So what is going to happen with this is it is either going to pull more buyers in to get more volume to then go and drop, or it is going to break this zone and it's going to switch the trend and it's going to continue on the upside. And it should have a pretty big move to the upside. But what will happen is it will probably do a inverted head and shoulders like that. That will most likely be what happens. If it doesn't reverse right here, it will go up. Like, obviously no shit, right, Tasha? But that's what's gonna end up happening. It will go up, but it will probably do a pullback, and then we'll be able to figure out another trade idea for it. But that's pretty much how this would look for. But this is the last point of reversal right here. If it doesn't reverse right here, it's gone to the upside. I mean, but if it does, it's most likely gonna shoot down easily shoot down. So, and again, I'm all about that last cross right there. To me, is what I need. This cross of where the immediate money is what I need right there. So that's really the one. So all those confirmations I gave you, that works. But the one that I would say is most important, that will give you the highest probability of chance in going in your direction, is the cross of that hourly trend, because it tells you where the immediate money is. And in trading, it's all about who has the most money right now. Who's in the market right now? Like, who's trading in the market right now? And that's really what we want, is who's really in the market, at this moment in time. So it'll be interesting though, because this 4 hour closes in 13 minutes. So, basically what'll happen is it'll stay, um, you know, maybe up here. But what will also happen is a triple top will happen. But again, to me, we'll know by tomorrow, market close, where this is at. I don't think it'll take longer than this. So if this thing starts pushing to the downside, we'll probably see it go further down next week. But if this thing pushes up, I think we're going to see it continue higher next week. But this is one I'm like looking at like right now. I'm just like, yeah, I'm selling this thing. Stop loss right up there, and we're chilling. So yeah, everybody else good. You guys want to have
What's up?
15-minute? What's up, Troy?
Chilling. What? Well, if we look at GBP Chef, we were looking at that the other week. I've been watching it since we looked at it.
You figured out who Mike is yet? What do you want to look at?
GBP Chef.
Boy, I ain't looking at that pair. That pair retarded.
Yo, JDR, what is
You brought it up in a group like 2 weeks ago.
Hold on. Wait, what did you say, Romassa?
I said, why does your name say Mike Hum? What inside joke is that?
What?
Wait, what's? Never mind.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait.
Don't fucking do it, bro.
Hold on. Did you see the other name? You didn't see the other name?
Troy?
You didn't.
What?
You who? What? Why is my name? You why who are you talking about?
Your name, whenever you're talking, it says Mike Hum. What's up with that?
Oh, my name really says that for real?
Yeah.
Wow. Somebody changed my name on here to Mike Hum.
Yo, I thought it was an inside joke, man. So I just didn't say nothing. I thought you knew that from the
Inside
start.
joke for.
I looked up. He's not a real. I mean, he's not. Some
You
famous-
looked at.
Yeah, I did just now.
What did you say, Tasha?
That was me. I changed it.
You changed what?
Your name?
Oh, you changed my name to Mike Hum?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Nobody told you.
Tasha's here, staying at the house right now.
Hi,
Romassa said hi.
Tasha.
Wow. So you really don't get it, Romassa? You don't.
No, who is that for real?
Okay. I'm done. Oh my god. Why? This is so funny. We were literally talking about this today.
Oh my god. My cock is a bad man. Look at the chat.
You don't have to get out the bed.
Y'all this. That's what's up.
Oh my god. I had to get out the bed on that one. Romassa, you funny. You still don't get it?
No, I got it. It's
Okay,
like,
yeah, you got it. Oh man, it's recorded, Devin. Don't worry. They're always recorded. I'm crying, laughing right now.
hey, look at that. Look at JDR all laughing. Thank you guys.
That was funny. That was good right there. We were all, me, Victoria, and Tasha were saying, who's gonna be the first person to ask who these names are? I just wonder. And then you were the one to ask. Now I can finally change my name back. I'm gonna change my name back.
Yeah, I broke the ice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be professional. I'm gonna be real professional. Technically, it was me, but I asked in person. Yeah, Tasha did ask in person. She definitely did. She asked me that the other day. I said, yeah, we're all gonna put names on here with Mike on it and see who figures it out.
Oh my god. Great minds think alike, Tasha.
Uh-huh. All right, but anyway, Troy didn't know who it was either. I told Troy today. He texted. I said, just say it fast 3 times, and you'll figure it out. Yeah, GB. I think Troy. Hold on. I don't have this.
Yeah, we were looking at you. You brought this up in the webinar. What was it, last week or something? Remember we were talking about it, and then was for we're gonna sell it, and then I sold it, and it just shot up.
Yeah, I didn't really go that far though. It's just
No, now it's still holding, but like what on my markup, it's still holding under that area. So I've been watching it, but I haven't sold it again or anything.
yeah, holding underneath there. It's definitely still holding underneath there. This boy here says bend over side. Yeah, no, it's still holding underneath there. It's honestly coming up for another sell. This pair just I don't like trading pairs that don't move a lot, but this thing's pretty solid. Don't really need a huge stop loss, and this would be a good zone right here. How much is this? 20 pips, and see that's 3-1. It's not a good 3-1 zone, but it's a good scalping zone. Like if you guys, what I mean is like this thing's literally coming up right now. I'm just laughing. I really got out the bed. I was laughing too hard. But yeah, this is a pretty good scalping pair trade right here. If you were like really to get into this, I'm over here like Mike right now trying to size this up to maybe possibly get a 3. That would be a pretty good trade, but you'd have to wait on it to get right there. But honestly, Troy, this is looking, a breakout is imminent on this. Obviously, the chef and the GBP are fighting right now. There's a battle going on, so that's why there's really not a move. There's really not a move going on right now. But to me, this is definitely. I'm honestly more bearish than bullish because this has some time to come down, and for the amount of pips that it has to come down, it's got 150 pips to come down, and something about it is just not breaking this high over here. It's just not breaking it. So there's something about that it's honestly just not breaking it. It looks good though. Definitely looks good for a sell. It's right. We're basically looking at this right here. However it breaks out of this, Troy, that's going to be your area in which it wants to go. This is kind of like a shoulder, head and shoulder right here. Also, this is an M top here, so it has the potential to go both directions. So if you treat this, because I know you've gotten really good at doing this, your buys down here, your sells up here, this is going to break out soon. I'm going to be looking at this probably until tomorrow. I'm going to look at this in New York session tomorrow because I'll wake up for New York session. But I'll be looking at this zone for sure. This is a good little area right there on that though. How do you stay consistent with your pairs? When do you check them? Consistent with my pairs. I'm not super 1000% consistent with my pairs. I just pretty much look at everything that I look at a lot of, like if you look at the setups that I have the Euro pairs here, then it goes into the USD pairs there, and all the way through to the USDs. Then I have the GBP pairs there. Then it goes into the JPY pairs, and then it goes into the odd pairs. And then it's pretty much just kind of whatever. I don't know why I have Tesla up here. Maybe Tati, you made me put Tesla up there. I don't know why I put that up there. But those are some, and I don't know why I have 2 Ethereums up there. I don't really think I just didn't take those off. So I just kind of skim through the market and I look at everything. That's pretty much how. And then what was I looking for? Oh, post in chat. I check them pretty much every day. I just look at specific pairs. Every day I check the pairs that I'm looking at to trade. Every weekend I look at the ones that I would be looking at trading in the upcoming week. I actively trade all day, as in if I'm in a trade, I pretty much let it trade throughout the day, and then when it reaches my take profit, then I'm out of the trade. Good trading habits. This girl Romassa, you might just need to text me, girl. I've been texting you when you text me. When do I actively trade?
Okay, so you prefer that? Because I was like, if you come to class, I don't know if teachers like answering questions when you pull up in the class or like, because that's
You
not
can
your
text me.
working hours, huh?
Yeah, you can text me. I'll text you back. I'm pretty good about
Okay, okay,
just always
cool.
text
I
you
got you.
everything. But I will answer
Cool.
your questions on here because it'll be good for the recording. Markets move 24/7, but they move better in the active sessions, like right now as Asia session. So that's why you're seeing moves kind of happen in one direction. London session they move, New York session they move, and then as far as actively paying attention to pairs, literally every single pair that I have up here, I pretty much watch all the time. I don't really have like a like a say preference. I'm not really too. I'm not like, oh, I'm not gonna look at this pair. I'm not gonna look at this pair. For the most part, all the pairs that I have up there, I will look at, which is a lot of pairs. But there's also a lot of like pairs I don't really care to look at. So I kind of contradicted myself. The reason why I don't really look at those pairs is I have enough pairs here to do plenty of percentages and make enough percentage monthly that I don't really need to just pay attention to all the different hundreds of pairs that there are. How long does it take for you to check charts? Like 5 minutes. I just look at all the lines I have drawn on the chart, look at what's going on in the market at that moment, and then that's whenever I make decisions of where it's at. So like let's see, what is this? NZD USD. This is like a time to look at this. Now what we'll know in NZD USD is if price rejects right here at this zone and comes back down to here, we'll see price pretty much reject. If not, we should see price continue to rise and break this high. So again, like I said, the next what was it, till 24 hours, that's whenever we'll figure out where this thing wants to go. So to me, I don't think it'll take very long on NZD USD. I think it'll be pretty quick to figure that out, but I just liked it. I'm glad that it was great for simplifying for you. It was a great laugh that we all had. That was for sure. We all got a laugh at that. Rebecca is the mature one in the chat, guys. If you guys haven't figured that out, I actually caught something in there. She said that we're children, so just remember that Rebecca is the mature one in the group, and everybody, all of us, we all left. Even that boy Jay came in and said something, and Dijon said something. Y'all be silent. If Dion, if you would have said something, bro, I would have had to bookmark this chat just because you said something and you laughed. That'd have been good. And Tyler said I was a little kid, but you already know what statement you be making.
Hey, JDR, I will be honest. I'm probably like the most immature person in this group.
You think so?
Maybe.
You might be, but I don't know, bro. I'm pretty I'm I'm pretty goofy, but you did say immature, so I can rock with it.
Immature,
I'm just goofy.
goofy, whatever.
But are we good? Everybody good. Guess we good. We're gonna make some moves. We all good. I'm good. Always stay in touch with your inner child. Exactly. Rebecca Bags with a Z. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. Y'all have a great one. Should see you guys on Sunday. And yeah, we'll see tomorrow what NZD USD does. But again, that little tidbit that I said about GBP NZD, why I brought that up is because these are both selling trades, and they're one of them is going to follow. Either it's going to be NZD USD that's going to fall for the sell, or it's going to be GBP NZD that's going to fall for the sell. So just remember that. Going into next week, even if you guys took both of those trades, because I actually know some of you guys who did take both of those trades, because I already know people who are in GBP and ZD. So just watch that for future reference, and watch obviously your risk to reward. If you risk the same amount on GBP and ZD that you do on NZD USD, you're gonna lose on one of the two, and the other one should pay you 2 times the amount of what you lost on the one. So just remember that little bit of information, and appreciate you guys getting on as always. Hope you guys have a great night, and pay attention to those trades there. And I'm gonna be looking for gold next week. Literally, I'm gonna be looking for gold, because gold I feel like is gonna be a lot of fun. But all right, y'all. Have a blessed night. Have a great night. I'm gonna catch you guys later. JDR, we outie. Mike Hum, no more. We out.